Okay, today we're going to do Keys to Success number 98, coming up on 100 here. This was a request from a patient to discuss this topic, and it is essential oils. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not very Dr. Rutherford. Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Rutherford, certified functional medicine practitioner and chiropractor.
Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor.
We're supposed to say that because of the chiropractic board, so that's why we say that every week. We don't think you guys are idiots or don't know who we are, but we need to do that because these things go a lot of different places. So, okay, so essential oils. I do have a lot of posts come in, as most of you know, who've gone through this or are watching this. I do the intakes. During my intakes, I'm trying to get a feel for the person. I'm trying to get a feel for the challenges that may be there. A lot of times people have come in with different types of tools, if you will, that are helping them. And it might be a certain vitamin supplement. It might be a certain herb or botanical. It might be a drug. It might be an essential oil. And at that point in time, it's I have to assess how people view their approach to their health. So a lot of people will come in and say, I use this herb and I use this botanical, I used enzymes, I used pancreatic enzymes, I used hydrochloric acid, I used Bragg's, and it cured me. Well, it didn't cure them. And so, but it's a mindset of that I have to kind of understand, is that mindset there? And is it something that, or are we going to be able to break through this person to actually help them to understand that their physiology can get better, and you don't need to take 100 things, maybe only they take 2 or 3. So essential oils, at that point of the consult, it kind of fits into that. At the other end, we were just discussing, one of the patients asked us to do a video at some point in time, and we may do that, on things that can enhance the program. People say, well, can I still do my yoga? And the answer is yeah, as long as you don't overdo it, because of certain things. Or can I still walk? Or can I still do breathing? Or can I still do acupuncture? And those can be, but not always, nice adjuncts to what we do. But our goal is to get your physiology, your neurology, your brain function, and your physiology, your immune physiology, and your endocrinology to the point where it's functioning normally. You have as few supplements as possible. You have as few food sensitivities as possible, and that your body largely functions on its own. So within the framework of that, I don't really have a grip on essential oils. I'm not putting that off on Dr. Gates. It's just that's where I'm at. I'm in the consult. I'm in the exam. I do the reports, and sometimes I get to say hi to you while you're going through the treatment. But Dr. Gates has, I think, a lot more of an understanding of what the essential oils can do to our types of patients. And this has become a little bit of a challenge because on the Facebook group, we do try to protect people from being sold things, only because we don't want that pressure there. We want it to be a free-flowing thing. And there are a couple of different things that are promoted on there. That was the essence of the request for us to do this. It's not just essential oils, it's a couple of other things. And we'd like to explain to you why that is something that, I don't know if that would go into this, but why that is something that we prefer not to happen. Maybe that's another Facebook thing, like why we would like to keep it clean and not have the marketing of different products on this Facebook group thing.
I think that's congruent.
Okay, if it is, because you're the one who is going to give our position on this.
Yes. So what I will say is that, have I seen patients who benefit from essential oils? Yes. I've also seen different drastically diametrically opposed, so not to use too many adjectives there, diametrically opposed situations with essential oils. I've seen it where many of you have an alternative bend to your health paradigm. So, rather than taking an aspirin, you want to mix together some Melissa officinalis and some other essential oil, some lavender to calm down cramps. And have I seen that work? Mm-hmm. I have. Mm-hmm. And I've seen patients who wholeheartedly believe in that and get benefits from them. I've also been in situations where basically me specifically, because we're working together and we see a lot of people. I say a lot because that's what these other people were thinking when they sought after me to go to these conferences or meetings for their specific essential oil or product that they were pitching. And what I can say in those situations, time after time, the brunt of the discussion, and this is from doctors, most of these are all medical doctors. Most of these discussions, in fact, about 95% were centered around how much money you can make as a doctor doing this, or an individual. And for the individual, how to basically rally together all of your friends, everybody you may go to church with, that you go to a book club with, so you can sell them these essential oils. And oh yeah, they work, and let's tell this anecdotal story, but let's just talk about how much money you're gonna make. That's the reality of it. You guys like that we're real with you. This is the reality of it. So there's that side of it too. And the reason why we're doing this broadcast is because we have patients who are somewhat naive in this area and asking, okay, what about essential oils? I see a lot about these essential oils online. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not propping up anybody. I'm just saying that, yes, I've seen essential oils work, but also there's a lot of marketing and anecdotal reports out there by people who are trying to sell you essential oils. You got to realize that, because they're going to benefit from a direct marketing perspective. More importantly, you're coming to us because most of the time you've tried so many things. So many of you have come in here either taking between 5 to 10 medications, or you've been taking a bag of supplements every month and not getting the results you want to. And even though we use supplements, our design is in the long run for you to be taking less and less supplements as time goes on. And the idea is less is more. We try to attack the big dominoes first, not just the little dominoes, not every little disparate piece. So that's our model. So that's why we put together the Facebook support group, because we wanted everybody to be able to have a place to come together and have a forum to voice their concerns, a forum to voice, you know, the fact that they're having a really hard day, a forum for encouragement, a forum for recipe sharing, a forum for just idea sharing. That's the idea behind this Facebook support group. And when we get people who are pitching a certain product, that's not congruent with our message. So I'll just dovetail that in. I'm not going to slam it anymore. But the point is that if you're one of our patients and you're considering essential oils, our opinion is that they can be beneficial, but just understand where the marketing is potentially coming from too. And that a lot of you are autoimmune and you may react poorly to certain products. For example, I have one patient right now going, his wife sells one of these MLM products, and or let me just say their spouse, I won't be generous with it. So their spouse sells MLM products, and this individual was taking a tea. It was just a tea, like a tea, an herbal tea from these MLM products. And he had pretty much a complete crash of his symptoms that we had worked really hard for to get him to a spot where he had never been improved. I know, there I go with my gender specificness, but he had never been improved basically throughout his whole last 5 years with treatment. He was improved considerably, and then he started drinking this tea, which had Th1 and Th2 stimulators in it, meaning it stimulated his immune system negatively, and he has an autoimmune problem, and all of a sudden he crashes. That's an important point, because we want all of you to be better and stay better, truly. And so if you're out there and you graduate from the program and you're thinking, oh, I'm feeling pretty good, okay, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, just know that there's tremendous possibility that these oils or other products can really stimulate your immune system in an adverse fashion and cause you to be worse. Now, have I seen other people who use some of these products and feel great? Yeah, I absolutely have. Yeah. But it's just, you need to be aware, buyer beware, when you're out there looking at essential oils or these other products being advertised to you by loved ones, associations, friends, etc.
Okay. And I wasn't 100% aware where you were going to go with that. I support that. I support that. Maybe just to bring even a teeny bit more clarity to that. I did write a book. I'm not selling my book, okay? I did write a book called Power Health Back to Basics back in, it was like 99, 90, 2000 maybe 2000, somewhere around there. Anyway, the book's obsolete. I need to write another couple of chapters to it to say, if you did all this and you didn't get better, here's why. But in that book, I actually did some research and addressed exactly what Dr. Gates was saying. And the whole point, it was the basis of what we do now. The philosophy of that book was the basis of what we do now. And the basis was, you are enough. Your mindset could change and you could be enough. Your physiology could change and you should be enough. And you should get back to basics. I just had a patient yesterday who said, if I don't eat, I feel great. Well, I'll take that one step farther. If you eat simply, if you can get your mindset into eating simply, you would feel better, because we do too many things to our body that stimulate the Th1, Th2 systems, the immune system. In that book, I talked about MLM marketing and how it's done, because I went to a lot of those also. But the biggest thing is that they do, the products, most of the products are excellent. So let me just take that one step further and say most of the products are excellent. They're made well, they're made in good facilities, it's sold that way, they have nice marketing, but they work for about 30% of the patients. And then why don't they work for the other 70%? Okay. They don't work for the other 70% because they have things that we treat. They don't work for the other 70% because the other 70% has autoimmune problems. A lot of these supplements are sold, maybe by doctors over the line on life extension and things of that nature. And they're sold to people who have immune responses, and yet they have ingredients in them that stimulate their immune responses. And it may surprise you to find out that things like echinacea and mushrooms and these types of things that are in these products can make someone much worse. Like they made me much worse before you got here, when I took them when I was trying to do the Th1, Th2 stimulus. So we're not being jerks about this, in a sense. Dr. Gates talked about this gentleman with the tea, and I had already written down another gentleman who came in here, was so ill. He was at the VA. Everybody told him that he was going to die. I mean, the gentleman had AIDS, and he had like a zillion other things going along with that. And by the time he got done, he was just, it was amazing how well he was doing. Comes back 6 months later and he looks the same. And I said, what happened? And he goes, well, I don't know. I'm doing the program. I've done everything right. When you start getting sick? It was 2 months ago. Oh, my neighbor said, this is a new thing. Well, his neighbor happened to be a chiropractor who was retiring and wanted to get into MLM of this product. Fine. Okay. Except this product had a lot of stimulators that made him worse. And he realized that 3 days after he started taking that product, he got worse. So it's a bit of a crapshoot. So it's one of the reasons that we have an attentiveness on it, because it's presented globally across the board. And it's like Doctor says, yeah, he has seen people who've gotten better on it. I've seen people gotten better on it. My daughter-in-law uses them. My wife's got them on her shelf. Okay, I don't use them, because when I used them to try to figure out, because I was like a guinea pig for a lot of stuff, when I used them to try to figure out my Th1, Th2 dominant, which part of my immune system was unstable, I got sick for a couple of months. So it should almost be like you have to be evaluated for whether you should use them or not, or you should have to do almost like a test, like we do with the foods when we reintroduce the foods or something. But it's not presented. I have been to the meetings, and usually the person who is presenting them is someone who is highly credentialed. And I might add, if you do a little research, a lot of times they don't have very good practice if you really look into it, because that's why they're doing this. So there's all those aspects to it. I'm really interested in the fact that can it be, as I had said, could it be some sort of an alternative therapy that can enhance or the basic program? The answer may be yes, but by the time Dr. Gates walks you through your program, his understanding of your physiology, your nervous system, your gut, your immune system is pretty acute. And he would be able to literally say, look, this is going to do this to this part of your immune system. If you want to try it, that's fine. But if you try and get sick, that's fine. If you try and get better, that's fine. But you shouldn't cavalierly do these things. And that's kind of how it's being presented from my observation on the Facebook thing. And we think that's, because if you set off a response, some people will be sick for a couple of days. Some people will be sick for a couple of weeks. Some people will be sick for a couple of months. And not unlike the gentleman who came back to me to inquire why he was so sick when he was doing everything we told him to, the light went on. It was 3 days after he started taking this new miracle product that was going to boost your immune system. Not unlike that, there's a danger of, he came back to see us, okay, but it's a danger of going, oh my God, the program went off, it didn't work, it only works for a couple months, things of that nature. So I mean, really our primary focus is that. Dr. Gates makes a good point that sometimes sometimes the motivation behind it can be other than just being altruistic towards helping everybody, because it doesn't help everybody. And the people that it doesn't help in our practice who have autoimmune problems can really go off the tracks if that happens. So that's really what generated the biggest concern, and I understand. And I back up what Doctor said about the aspects of it, that the financial aspects of it do leak into this. So be careful when you're talking to anybody about that, and know that the products are all quality, but know that the products may not be for you, particularly if you have an established autoimmune response going on.
The last thing I'll say is that I've talked to the chief scientist for that one product that you were mentioning.
Yeah.
I mean, if we mentioned it, you would know it. The guy who invented it. And I say, in here you have a lot of compounds that really stimulate cytokine shifts. So it stimulates the immune system. He said, I agree. He said, really, autoimmune patients shouldn't be taking this product. Which is all of our patients.
Yeah, and that was the chiropractor who was retiring that sold that product to our patient. That's why he called them.
Right.
And the guy admitted it, but nobody said that in the
seminars and
the presentations. It was like, no, this is the greatest autoimmune booster in the history. For those of you who still may not understand, your immune systems don't need to be boosted. Your immune systems need to be calmed down and balanced. And you need to cling to that like forever, because that's what'll keep you well.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.